What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday, and welcome to the best place to spend your Thursday afternoons if you're looking for some Apex talk. It is the Hot Zone. My name is Y4SO. I'm here with my co-host Zephyr, and we're talking everything going on in the Apex Legends competitive scene. So welcome here to episode 10. We hit double digits,
Oh my
Zephyr.
gosh.
All I have to say is howdy, howdy.
Yeah, howdy to that. Double digits. It goes to show we've stuck with it, and we're finally here, and hopefully we'll be talking about triple digits. Granted, what that's like, I mean,
That's a ways.
guarantee
That's a
that's a
ways away.
ways away. That's
Yeah,
at least 2 years, and who knows what
essentially.
lies in wait at the end of 2 years. I might be dead, but still an
Yeah,
achievement
I might
nonetheless.
have I might have strangled Zephyr after a really
Yeah,
bad night of comp grinding.
ranked.
This motherfucker.
Yeah, but I'll
uh,
tell you what, not a particularly busy episode today. We've
yeah.
officially concluded what is the entirety of Pro League. That's come to an end. We have solidified Challenger Circuit as well too.
Mm-hmm.
Both of our kind of regular split seasons are all said and done, and
Correct.
that honestly happened pretty much a week ago at this point. So kind of, I mean, that's why the title of the episode in my head is, can we maybe call this an off season? I mean, we're currently pretty much a
Uh,
month out from playoffs. We've still got some time to go.
yeah, and I think there's certainly more juice to be squeezed from that, that fruit, but I think we've talked quite a bit about, our thoughts on the end of the Pro League
Yeah,
season
end of
for
season, all
NA
done.
and EMEA, and we've translated a lot of that already into our discussions about playoffs. And we'll still here and there talk about some of that stuff and maybe hit on certain teams or players or whatever that we're curious about. We're certainly, in the process of reaching out to guests that are going to be at playoffs in London next month. We
Yes.
would love to talk to some of them. So we're still working on that behind the scenes to bring that content to you guys. But on the other hand, I think there's other topics we're going to push into here in the run up to the event. And then, of course, once London starts, that's where we're really going to sink our teeth into what's going on out there. And I'm very much looking forward to that. But some different topics here today. We'll be discussing some assorted things, but we will start off at the top with relevant discussion to the event. We're going to talk some international scrims. A lot of teams have been getting
All
together.
right.
Big hats off to the folks over at Oversight because it looks like they've been doing a lot of work in organizing a
Yeah,
lot of these
minus
international
tempo.
scrims over the last week. Yep, hats off to Minus Tempo. Also, hats off to Minus Tempo if you missed it last night, playing in Series Z. Himself and Chrono teaming up last night. It didn't go
Yeah, it
incredibly
was
well,
great.
but that's okay. But definitely hats off to them for what the work that they've been doing, getting scrims together. Because there's been almost daily scrims going on, and it's been really interesting to see some of the results. I think ESA is a team that people will rightfully have a lot of questions about, with, Capra being dropped. They're bringing in their substitute Cody, but they've looked good so far. One of the, maybe most compelling stories to come out of it has been the TSM versus KCP battle, which we'll
Oh
dig
my
into
gosh.
a little bit more later. But international scrims have definitely been very fascinating to look at in terms of results so far.
Yeah. So obviously we are still kind of hinging off the back end of today's scrims. We don't have those results in store. They
Correct.
have, I believe, taken place here, but we don't have the official standings. And I myself, as I did catch at least 2 of the days of scrims on a watch party,
Hmm.
didn't have these last 2 days in store. But outside of that, I mean, it is very hard for me to really understand how I feel about the scrims and the results that come out of them
Hmm.
right now. Um, it's obviously not going to be reflective of the groups themselves. You're not matching up with your actual, compatriots who you're going to see every single time. On top of that, we're talking the ping differential that has very clearly shown itself to have its effects. And on top of that, the quality. And this is like, I know I'm not like just hard like jumping into the results, and we'll definitely talk about the results here in a second, but
Hmm.
scrim quality for international scrims has been like, I don't know, man. it has been single digits round 3 in a majority of the matches, right? And it's not like the teams are like just going out of their way to like start fights, and it's just like the chaos and the confusion and like not knowing your opponents and rotations and the fact that we get a different group of 20 every single day. I
Hmm.
mean, it has made it incredibly hard for so many of these rosters to actually kind of jumpstart and get things going. And most of the time, even when I was like watch partying it, it's really just, from one contest to the next contest, someone's going for a 3v3 situation. And then when it comes to macro play and decisive decision making, that just seems to like kind of, for a majority of the team, like go out the window. It doesn't matter. Like I will pick on like one scenario. Xset are in a spot where they are very clear to be gate kept. Several squads can hold ridge. It's on the west side of landslide.
Hmm.
Should be done, right? Zone is pulling towards survey camp. Because so much fighting takes place outside of survey camp in that game, Exet are allowed to walk across the landslide for free, walk through the choke for free, take up high ground ridge, and that leads to a top 3 finish for them. All not because of any kind of, real movement on part, just the timing,
Yeah.
right? And that alone. And I think that moment right there, when I saw that happen, I immediately was like, okay, I'm not exactly. I'm not gonna be. I'm like. Don't get me wrong. It's fun to see these teams compete, but I'm
Hmm.
not gonna be basing a whole lot of anything off of scrims.
Yeah. At the very least, until they travel to London, and my hope
Land.
is, I've seen maybe a couple of tweets. I can't remember from who. In regards to like teams starting to travel maybe in the next week or two to head out to London. I would hope that teams are looking to do that, trying to get out there at least like a week early so that you can spend time on site
Yes.
in London scrimming and getting ready, because that is the best thing that these teams can do, right? One of the things that happens in lolly sports, right, is teams will go in
Boot
boot
camp.
camp
Yeah.
before worlds, because they'll have a lot of times teams will have at least like a month gap between like finishing their summer split playoffs and the start of worlds. So teams will go to Korea and boot camp there, or sometimes if like worlds is going to be in Europe, they'll all go to Europe early before worlds and boot camp there, and these teams get together. Now obviously, as we've certainly had discussions about specifically over the last couple of weeks, the Apex scene from a team and organizational perspective is not as flush with cash as League of Legends esports, and I totally get that. But I would hope that at least some of the bigger orgs and these teams that are really serious and invested in the scene, and if they have the resources to do so, go out early, invest the time, get prepared. It's also going to help, players adjust to the time change, right? You want to
Yep.
get that out of the way before the event starts so that you're fresh and you're not tired and that you feel like you're playing to the best of your ability kind of mentally and physically there. So I think there's a lot of reasons why I hope teams go out, try to get there at least a week early so you can really get some good, solid scrim time in, adjust to the environment so that hopefully day one of the event, we've got a good chunk of these teams starting on the right foot. And I just think it makes for a better an event. So we'll have
Yeah.
to keep an eye on that. But I'm 100% in the same camp as you. Like I'm literally looking at one of the scrim results from yesterday, and it has Fnatic in 18th.
Yeah.
In like not a bad lobby, right?
Uh,
Pulverex is in here, Xset, TSM, Element 6, Luminosity, Dark Zero, right? Like that's not a bad lobby, but Fnatic getting 15 points and finishing in 18th place, I think that is not something we're going to see regularly. So I would definitely not bank, too much in these scrim results.
yeah. Uh, I think like we can take some general statement is the best thing that I can say
Yep.
from like scrims right now with
Yep.
each region. I think it's very clear. Like we'll start with North America, in my opinion.
Yep.
TSM, hands down, in my opinion, is by and far the best team in North America and could
Yeah.
potentially be the best team in the world. They haven't competed in a ton of scrims, at least kind of in the mid period here, but at least with what was kind of day 4, day 2, and day 5, I believe. I mean,
I get some fucking fresh results hot off the presses
yeah, I
for
was going
you
to say
right now.
day 5, which is today. Day
These just came out
5,
2 minutes ago.
they replicate what they did on day 2. They finished first in one block and they finished second in the other.
Yeah.
Straight up, just once again, I think when I look back at all these results of all the teams, I would say globally the most consistent being that is TSM. And there is things to interpret from that. Obviously, we talk about some of the disadvantages of these scrims, but it is still respectable that in these situations, TSM, I think confidently has come out on top the most frequently.
Yeah, they're looking really good. ESA with another 4th place finish in the first scrim block of today, which is good to see for them. Xset getting first in that scrim block that TSM finished second is very, very nice to see. This just has me excited. I don't know. I see these scrim blocks and I'm like, all right, can we just get to London? I'm ready to kick things off. Like, let's get things rolling. I want to ask about Zephyr's tilted glasses, but that's none of my business. It's your business now.
They're broken. Okay, they're broken.
Let me see.
Yes, they're broken. Whoa, look,
Oh
guys,
my
they're
God.
broken. Who would have guessed? Okay.
We need a Oculus Reparo over here on those fucking glasses.
Anyways, I would say in North America, to kind of round things off, I think Xset is leaving me wanting more right now. 100 Thieves kind of arriving at a really good spot for themselves too. I've seen very good things from that roster alongside Luminosity. I think my favorite 3 out of North America right now are TSM, Luminosity, 100 Thieves.
Okay.
And then Xset is like right there. I think everyone in North America has competed. The only one I think being that of NRG hasn't kind of slid into any of these yet. So we don't know where Sweet is at whatsoever in regards to this whole kind of global international scrim situation. Could be good, could be bad. Energy, you never can count them out.
Yeah, I completely agree. I hope we see a good performance from them on land. Felt like they ramped up through the split in a pretty good way. I definitely didn't like to see them starting as low as they did, but hopefully we can see something.
They're good.
Yeah, and they're playing in Oversight tonight, as Tobrick points out. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Do you want to talk TSM and KCP?
I'll just let me really quickly just wrap up the regions really quick. I think EMEA. I think Element 6 is performing at their best right now.
They look good.
We're still missing out a ton of other kind of teams, but when Aurora showed up, they were kind of average, Ascend, whatever. At least with E6, they haven't been like, I would say, competitively at the top, but in the EMEA region, I think right now with Scrims have the most consistency in putting in the work.
Certainly.
For South America, Singularity, Godfire, both probably the most consistent. Obviously, I'd say they're kind of switching back and forth in my mind regarding who is the better roster right now.
Sure.
The rest, not so much, I would say there. APAC North, surprisingly, none of the teams that I kind of expected do well. It's actually fun. Fun is fucking crazy, dude. Fun is like really good. And I don't know, because scrims are more highlighting like really good fighting teams than they are macro-oriented teams. But the fact that they've been the most consistent out of that northern APAC region is just incredible. And then alongside them, teams like E36. Crazy Raccoon kind of slides in there in the end, I would say, and that's more like something people know. But definitely surprising me, I think, out of all of the 5 regions. Everyone else, I'm kind of like, okay, I can see that. But APAC North, definitely shaking it up. And then really quickly, APAC South, IBG kicks ass.
Yeah.
And
no surprises.
Everyone else is kind of meandering. Moist had a decent day today, but all in all, through national scrims, they've been kind of, they've been all right. I want to say Dark Zero are doing great because now that they actually have their IGL back, they literally fucking annihilate yesterday's scrims, 2 first places in a row.
Sure,
they're not APAC South, they're North American. So now that they're back, they got that land buff.
Yeah. We'll see if it translates
But that's
to
that's it really.
land. Okay. Let's dig a little bit into this KCP and TSM situation that came out yesterday, and I'm gonna quickly, because it's actually not very long. I'm gonna quickly read this
Yeah, just read
nasty
it.
thread for everybody.
Okay.
He said, "Leaving Wall to TSM, we're officially announcing we won't be defending our POI against TSM anymore. In the first set of 3 games, we lost due to poor planning, and we weren't able to trial and error our strats. In the second and last set of 3 games, we lost due to TSM being arguably the strongest team in the world. We did a lot of preparation and managed to beat multiple top teams in the world back to back and was feeling amazing going into it. TSM is simply too strong. It really hurts doing shit like that, and I'd love to let my ego continue fighting for the spot, but I'm simply not a brainlet like multiple other pros, and I've always said since the start of my time that anyone should contest, but if you're losing, you should know when to leave. The harassment and death threats from filthy TSM fans didn't make shit much easier, but we figured it would happen. Y'all incels aren't even close to being the reason, and if anything, I'd love to continue contesting to make you mad. I still wholeheartedly believe we have the ability to win LAN, and we're working very hard and long days to make sure you guys see. All the ego and banter was never anything personal, just for fun. We and TSM are all cool, in before some Reddit frog types otherwise. Also, going forward, please stop the bashing and constant slander/harassment. Hurts my ego enough to leave a drop spot when I've successfully defended my POIs the last 3 years. P.S. Hello, Reddit. Suck my cock. Nasky, I love you. And honestly, like, I'm super about all of this. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think the fact that
There's-
they took the shot to contest and they just said, "Hey, like, it's not working. It's not worth our time." I respect it, and also fuck anybody that's like harassing these dudes.
yeah, fuck you.
To be honest, is this
Get a
anything
life.
new for the TSM fan base? No.
No.
Unfortunately,
Sadly.
and whatever, they'll be under this fucking post on Reddit of the episode, or they'll jump in chat, whatever. I'm just saying, like, I have been around TSM fans for long enough to not be surprised by this in the slightest. Be better, y'all. You guys have a team of really talented players that are well respected in the community. Even with all this shit that people like to give Hal, like, he is incredibly well respected by the people who spend time around him. And y'all acting like this just puts a bad light on very, very good people in this community, and it's a bummer. And shout out to Nasky, and I think rightfully kind of called him to the plate last week, going to LAN. Like, these guys really have something to prove. That is even more apparent after this happening in scrims and them having to switch their drop spot. I think it's the right choice for sure, but KCP definitely with the target on their back, in my opinion, going into this LAN.
Yeah. I start this kind of conversation out with just reminding you, remember Xset and CLG? Oh, I can't hear you. Or am I muted?
I tapped. No, that was me. I muted.
Okay.
Yes, I do remember the Xset and CLG battle.
No one to leave, dude.
Yeah.
No one to leave. All right.
Yeah.
I think
Klain
dude
got bodied. That was rough.
big balls to anyone who contests. I think it's
Mhm.
important to go for those situations, especially like, say you want Wall. Wall's a very strong POI.
Mhm.
It has a very nice rotation towards the split on the map, and there's a reason why teams play it. There's a reason why TSM is there, also fighting that one out, right? And honestly, give it your best college try, but at a certain point, you're literally losing opportunities to learn and expand what you can do as a team by half of your games just an immediate loss because you are down in 20th, which is what happened to KCP when we were watching them.
Yeah.
They lost every single contest against TSM, and I genuinely, like I said, I respect Nasky for realizing that you can maybe beat them a different way, but in the straight 3v3 right now, beginning of the game, your best bets are to find somewhere else, take the neck for now, come back later in the game and play your macro-oriented whatever, because right now with KCP, that's literally the word I'll use, because whatever. They're running Revenant right now. I don't know what the hell's going on there.
They got
But
they got Tech as a
yeah,
temporary
Tech
coach for them
Tech
for the rest
came
of
in
the.
as a coach behind the scenes, dude. Oh my
Yikes!
god. But, I respect it.
Yeah,
Obviously, one big thing to note is the fact that I'm pretty sure they're not in the same group, right?
I can tell you right now.
Tell me if they're in this. If they're not in the same group, it doesn't mean that they lose Wall completely.
They're not.
Yeah, if they're
They're
not in the
they're
same group,
they're TSM's Group B. Pioneers is Group C. They've got NRG, Kick, the Guard, Ascend, Fnatic. That's in their group.
yeah.
EXO.
So I mean, right now during international scrims when they go up against TSM, sure, no Wall, but obviously everything is adaptable on a game by game basis. I feel like it's good to understand your rotations coming out of one specific POI, but they're practiced on Wall. They can always go back to it and
Yeah.
find their success there. So it's I genuinely don't think it's the like whoa complete end of the world for KCP because even in that regards they can literally just switch to POI when they get the chance.
Well, and I think really what it is for for KCP is like, okay, we'll take Wall when we're not against Group B, and then they already understand if prepared. Hey, when we're up against Group B, we're not going to contest. We're going to adjust. We're not going to go battle TSM at
Yep.
Wall. And this rough experience will hopefully mean that they come in better prepared for that matchup come LAN. Because the last thing you want is to learn about this
Too
when
late.
the games matter, right? These games don't, they're scrims and it's important practice, but like the results of them don't matter. So better to get that out of the way now, come into LAN then with a game plan with, okay, when we're playing against TSM, here's our adjustment. Here's the POI we're going to go. Here's how we're going to play it. And I think that's a win. Like, that is a good move by Pioneers. And, I think Nasky puts it well where he's like, yeah, sure. Like I'd love to ego it. And, but ultimately he recognizes that it's not, that is not valuable, right? And it's only likely going to hurt them in the long run. So making the adjustments will benefit them at LAN, and we'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah. And I respect everyone in this situation, not just Nasky. You
Mm-hmm.
saw the replies from Raven, obviously behind the scenes as well.
Yep,
I mean,
Reps replied to it
don't
too.
don't forget. I mean, this is literally their previous coach,
Yeah,
right? They were under Raven on GMT for a very, hot minute there, right? And so I mean, they said themselves, Nasky literally taught Raven how to contest and how to like handle those types of situations. And he still claims that he's like the OG master. And honestly, it's good vibes all around. So I'm excited. It just goes to show me that KCP, albeit they are figuring shit out, I mean, they're on their best foot forward going into international scrims, and there's
yeah.
going to be a whole lot of time now that they've kind of accepted that, I guess,
And
fate.
for me, it just like it immediately highlights that Group B versus Group C matchup in the group
Yeah.
stage. On LAN. I'm immediately like that is the matchup that I have circled for the start of this event because I'm like, all right. Because we're gonna get, even without the contest, those two teams are gonna end up rotating through the same POI at some point. We're gonna get a fight, and it's gonna be great. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be very, very fun. Let's jump to another discussion in the vein of teams or players stepping away
Yeah.
from competitive Apex Legends. If you guys saw the tweet
Chaotic
longer
Munch.
early, that's next. That's not yet. Not yet. That's the next topic. If you guys missed it earlier this week, Rocker put out a tweet longer announcing that they will be stepping away and retiring from competitive Apex Legends. And
Damn,
I think the
dude.
biggest thing to highlight was Rocker just very plainly stating the game is not fun for them to grind anymore, right? I think Rocker very specifically was like, I get on and I can play for maybe 2 hours and then I have to get off and they're really just not enjoying it anymore. And it's a bummer, especially because Rocker as a player, like with the roster moves that happened in this past offseason, I was really excited about the Rocker move to Cloud9 when it originally happened. I was like, damn, breaking up that energy roster is crazy, but it's going to be really cool to see them with Gildersons. I think Rocker is super talented, and I was just like, damn, is this the juice that C9 needs to turn the corner? ultimately, we didn't have to wait until the
No.
start of Pro League to have the answer to that question. Unfortunately, the answer was no, and I don't like rest that on the shoulders of Rocker
No.
in any way, but like ultimately, it wasn't the right fit and things didn't work out. I can only speculate, and I'm really not going to, whether that had anything to do with Rocker's burnout. I don't know. I'm really not going to dig into that. But ultimately, it's unfortunate to see because I think Rocker's an incredibly talented player and somebody that I was really looking forward to watching this year. But at the very least, you know, hats off to Rocker knowing when to hang it up, right? And ultimately, if you're not having fun, if that passion isn't there, step away and do what makes you happy. And I wish Rocker the best, and I think we're gonna miss him.
It makes me really sad too because this is kind of like one of those situations where you're like seeing like the back half of like this like old guard start to kind of disappear here. I mean, Rocker is has been playing competitive Apex since 2019,
Yeah,
right? Off the back half there. It was, we'll say since it's kind of close, roughly almost little over 3 years in competitive Apex, and kind of
yeah,
early on into 2020, jumps on the Energy roster, and they find phenomenal success. Rocker is easily one of the most accomplished players in this game, right? Alongside that OG Nathan Sweet, composition.
yeah,
He's done it all, right? I mean, obviously there's more to left, to desire with things like champs and the revision of the kind of how ALGS is formatted, but that's not a future for him right now, right? And outside of that, he's been first, and now he's been last,
mm,
right? And so it makes me sad because I mean, obviously, if passion's the problem here and you're just not feeling it, sure. I respect that. Apex is one fucking grind, dude. I mean, it is an absurd grind. And to like build back up to that consistency and the vibe that you had, say, with NRG, that's its own huge fucking insurmountable obstacle. And I can completely understand after having the career that Rocker has had,
yeah,
looking back, realizing what it looks like without it regarding Cloud9 this season, and realizing how hard it'll be to get back in those shoes and how much time and effort that requires. I get it.
mm-hmm.
I get it. I really hope this kind of like decision doesn't come from a place of the infrastructure wasn't there to keep me supportive enough to,
Yeah.
like to keep the grind going. Cause that would just make me so sad. I mean, I
But
for a
granted,
lot of
that's
these,
also the answer we've been seeing from
yeah, for a lot.
other places. So
So I really hope not. I hope it really is just like I wasn't feeling it anymore. I was willing, if I was feeling it, I'm willing to stick it out. I've
yeah,
got the time, I've got the energy. I'm literally Rocker, but doesn't seem like currently that is the case. So I don't know, man. This is this is probably the like we've had a lot of retirements here
yeah.
recently in these last few months, but this one to me has been like I don't know. This is probably the biggest one for me out of all of them. And I know it goes kind of in grace. It's a very respectful end for Rocker to just kind of settle it down. But damn, dude. Damn.
Just for clarity for the people at home, first of all, retiring young. Rocker's 19. Did you realize that?
No shit.
Rocker is 19, born September 8th,
Dude,
2003.
he's 2
Uh,
year younger than me.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Uh,
Dude
approximate
started when he was
total
a teen.
winnings in their career, uh, over $113,000. And I mean, you can look through the results. The recent
Yeah,
stuff with
that
Cloud9 probably not looking great, but you get down into that NRG
energy
era,
goaded.
lot of incredible results down there, and a player that is definitely well respected uh, for the right reasons, 100% in uh, Apex Legends. But that's crazy. I just pulled up his Wikipedia. I was like, damn, he's fucking 19. Like,
Dude had time to spare. Here am I thinking like he's got to be at least 23, the oldest age in esports, and
Yeah,
and
me, totally me. By the way, definitely
yeah.
23.
Yesa's 23 over here.
Yeah,
I say that I'm literally turning 22 in like a month. Anyways,
so cute.
goddamn, that's crazy, man.
Yeah,
That is just fucking crazy.
wish him luck though.
But the nice thing is, this might be a good period for him to take some time away from Apex, and he might be like Tom Brady. He
Mm.
might, get out of there and realize like this is what I did. This is what I still want to do,
Yeah.
and some time off can always be particularly good, and who knows?
Well, and also a player of his caliber with the wealth of experience and success that he has had in his time in Apex Legends, and being as young as he is, the esports world is his oyster too, right? If maybe
Yes.
Apex isn't it, God knows
Who knows
that
what
you could
comes out,
translate
in
that
2
talent.
years.
Yeah, you could translate that talent to a different esport. Maybe Valorant becomes his game and he goes that direction, or a different shooter, or maybe it mixes it up even more and goes into a MOBA or something like that. Like Rocker is young, and the sky's the limit for this kid. So maybe it's just
Damn.
a retirement from Apex Legends, but not esports as a whole. And maybe there is a passion and a home for him elsewhere. So, regardless of what he does, though, I think in the end, ultimately, we wish him luck. We're thankful that we get to watch him, and we hope maybe there's more in the future, if not in Apex, elsewhere.
Huh.
What?
It hurts.
It does hurt.
It hurts.
It does.
I
Hurt.
don't know. I felt that one was that's the roughest retirement I had to read recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even rougher than the Liquid leaving Apex.
Liquid leaving Apex isn't technically gone, like Xset's still repping my 4, 5 favorite boys.
Yeah, and I know that the players are still there, but you're a team
One's
Liquid.
an org. One is literally a person hanging up a
yes,
saddle. It's
but
different emotional.
No, I know it's different, but like Liquid is your
I know.
org, right? Like that is
It is my favorite org.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay.
They'll be back
Okay.
once EA starts paying money. Anyways.
Okay, you heard it here first. Let's talk about some other EA stuff and what they did to our poor
Transition.
girl Horizon. Of course, patch came out earlier this week. We got custom lobbies, everybody. Hope you're enjoying that. I think Hambino was putting together
Yeah, I saw him. He was doing
lobbies.
customs last night. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on his channel. I almost thought about jumping in.
Of course, Series E happened last night, but some of the biggest conversations from the patch are some changes that weren't actually detailed in the patch notes. And I'm actually going to go off on that tangent really quickly off the front. And this is a little greedy as someone who comes from League of Legends, right?
Right.
And I've been reading League patch notes for, over a decade now.
Every 2 weeks.
What you get, like League of Legends patch notes are incredible. The detail you get all the numbers, all the changes in there, dedicated sections for bug fixes that detail everything that they've adjusted there. When champions get adjusted or items and things like that, you see the full details, right? You get exactly how the numbers are changing. A lot of times you'll even get little blurbs about like the thought process behind it, right? Oh, we felt like this was too powerful. We felt like this champion's playstyle and identity is supposed to be around X thing, so we felt like we had to tone this thing down and buff up the other to feel like we express that identity clearer or stuff like that. And while you do get a fair amount of details from Apex, I think a common thing that we see all the time is it is not a new thing to get a patch coming out and then as the in the first week or two of the patch we discover a litany of changes that nobody had any idea about that weren't in the patch notes. And the big one that we're seeing here at the start of this patch is a significant nerf to Horizon. Her accuracy on taking her gravity lift drastically nerfed, and unfortunately it has come at the expense of the life of Chaotic. They murdered our boy. What are your kind of
Retired. What a man.
yeah. Ultimately,
All said and done.
give us more details, please, and more clarity on patch notes. Like these things should not be a surprise. Like whether you support the
I
nerf or not, tell people, please.
my big thing is like I don't even know if this was supposed to happen. That's the scary part.
Well,
Like
I don't. I think that
silent,
only makes it
silent,
worse. So
dude. Silent nerfs and buffs do happen in Apex. Don't get me wrong,
I don't
but
think
I
that's
have
acceptable.
right. I don't think that's good either. But in most cases, especially with decisions specifically like this, where you're taking a champion and destroying like accuracy on grav lift, which is a huge change to Horizon. 90% of the time, I would say EA is pretty conscious about including those changes, right?
Hmm.
Were they silent about like loot changes or what new zones? And sure,
We
yes,
could throw
that's
back to
fine.
the
We
frag
can, yeah,
loot bustiners. Yeah,
frag fucking East. All
yeah,
right, everyone knows that one. That's classic.
yeah.
But I do think this one, I would be very shocked if this was really a conscious decision when they were like, I bet you, yes, Horizon currently overtuned. I think Horizon's really strong right now.
Sure.
And we know season 16 is where we're going to be seeing like the biggest changes to Legends, whether it
Yeah.
be Horizon, Sea, or whatever. And we know they've been working on it. I'm super curious if they had already finished up what they were going to do with Horizon, especially now that we know they can do it with things like the zip lines in Dark Moon with accuracy.
Hmm.
I wonder if they accidentally made this change in preparation for season 16 and then accidentally let it go live or something. I would be because it is so mind-blowing to me
Yeah.
like that they would leave this in the game consciously and then
Yeah.
not tell anyone. This is such a huge change. The competitive scene as a result gets completely flipped on its head. Everyone who's super into Horizon right now, who by the way just got a really cool legendary skin in
Hmm.
this event, the Scarlet Witch skin, right? I mean, that would be it would I mean, there's got to be something behind the scenes. I can't it just there's they're not fishes. No one is that stupid behind the scenes at Respawn.
Sure.
No one is. There's
Yeah.
no dev out there who just consciously makes like we're gonna gut Horizon and just not tell anybody because that's what this did. There had to have been something, but the problem is we haven't seen any like hot fix in the last day to fix Horizon, and I don't think it's been acknowledged, and that's an even bigger issue, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you also bring up a very good point there, and I will say this point is tempered a little bit by the fact that we're a month away from the event, so like adjustments can be made, but the worst time to make big like drastic changes to systems in the game or legends in like characters that teams are playing is in between a qualifying event and the major event the teams have qualified for, right? Because look at like a good chunk of teams right coming to LAN played Horizon, and now you're
So
just
many.
saying like, oh yeah, hey, like Horizon teams, like I know you really performed in the meta where Horizon was really good, but we're like essentially gonna say fuck you and significantly nerf her into the run up to the event. I think definitely the time between a qualifier and a large event like this is definitely not the time for major changes like that. It should be smaller system in legend tweaks. So but that's more of a general point. Like I don't even
Yeah,
disagree
yeah,
with
yeah.
like the change in a vacuum
No, it's a
to
good
Horizon. Like
change.
I think it is a good change, but ultimately I think the
The timing.
it should have been done earlier, right? That change should
Yes.
have happened 6 to 8 weeks ago, especially because like this isn't a new thing, right? Horizon has been around and big in the meta for months, and it's like if
Yes.
you're gonna make one of those changes, I think it needs to happen much earlier, and you shouldn't be waiting till after this split is done, but we're getting ready and gearing up for playoffs. I think that's the wrong time to do it.
Now, one caveat to that specific point, though, is the fact that we do have the ALGS build behind the scenes, and I've
Do
definitely
you
heard
think they're
from
going to play
Myas
on the
Tempo.
ALGS build with pre Horizon Nerf on LAN?
Right. So I've heard that there is some mixed stuff behind it. It's not confirmed yet,
Mm-hmm.
but the ALGS build is still behind. So Horizon, the switch from G7 into the Crafter,
Yeah.
etc. There's still a lot of time here where they have, if they really, I think the big question is it a actual like patch, or is it a buff, right? Or like, my apologies, is it an actual patch, or was it a bug,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what I think they are currently waiting on, the last I heard. And
Mm-hmm.
if it is a bug, they have wanted to say like, okay, then just hot fix, and then we'll jump into that. But if it is an actual change, I've heard they wanted to pull back and use the actual ALGS build to do everything on. And I don't know how much control the ALGS parties have that be, but they definitely, I can tell you right now, they talk to EA, they talk to their representatives. I'm literally looking at it on my fucking right monitor right here.
Yeah.
They definitely communicate this kind of thing.
Do players and teams have access to playing on the ALGS build for scrims and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what that scrims are
That is what.
on the ALGS
Okay.
build. That's what
Okay.
they're using right now.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
So
Yeah, we'll have to see then.
I think in that regard, I don't think it's the end of the world, because it seems like they are starting to maybe provide options for
Yeah.
how they want to see this forward, because Horizon's too much of a piece to like have this just slide its way through, and then champs is just whoever comes up with the next meta comp,
Mhm.
Furia, something kind of like that, and then just like wins it all.
Yeah.
Or that'd be crazy. But yeah.
The next meta comp is Octane Pathfinder Bloodhound, actually.
Yeah,
You
Luminosity!
heard it here first.
Luminosity,
We'll
baby!
have to see. But yeah, I also did love, if you guys missed like the joke we were making, after of course Rocker puts out the Twitlonger retiring, and then the Horizon nerf comes out, Chaotic Bunch put out joking Twitlonger about retiring because of the Horizon nerf. So Chaotic, we wish you the best, my man.
Oh, damn, dude.
Rest in peace.
Retired.
Okay.
Okay.
Last topic before we get to Q&A. So as always, we'll remind you, if you guys have questions or things you want us to talk about, feel free
to ask.
Slap them in the chat, because we'll be hitting those here soon. Let's talk about an interesting new heirloom that got leaked recently, Zephyr. And you brought this story to my attention last night. So what are the details here? What are we talking about?
So, obviously, everyone knows heirlooms. They're a big part and the biggest funding, I would say, into Apex Legends. It costs something like, what, $150, $160 total? Because usually, the two ways to get an heirloom, the big one is during the event, you buy all 24 items alongside that collection, and then you get the heirloom. Or the other end of the spectrum is you get 500 heirloom shards. Now, obviously, the big one everyone loves is everyone gets their heirloom weapons for each specific legend. And I think now we are down to like the final, 5 or 6 legends who need an heirloom, right? I think Horizon is the biggest one everyone's been kind of waiting for, but Fuse, Horizon, and there's definitely a few. There's definitely a few. But we are ticking down. There are less legends that need heirlooms than there are legends that don't, right? And then on top of that, recently we saw what I actually thought was really cool was their next kind of dive into continuing this process was the heirloom skins, the mythic skins, which was we've seen 2 now, or 3, the Wraith, Bloodhound, and Bangalore skins. All of them I actually think really fucking cool. They're adaptive, they evolve based off of your kills and your presence. Now, what has gotten a lot of people up in arms, though, is the fact that we've seen some leaks for the first collection event of Season 16, and that mythic item is a reactive Peacekeeper skin. And notably, this skin is a similar model to that of the one we saw in the battle pass of season 3. It is a slight recolor. Now, I don't know if the skin is like Pulsefire Ezreal or like our mythic skins and it continues to evolve throughout the game and grow or whatever.
Yeah.
But right now, it currently just seems like we're getting a very solid, like there's nothing new being added here. It's not like a new skin, a new weapon for your legend. It is a skin that might have some new bells and whistles, some new effects, maybe some slight design changes, but it is a weapon that you had already seen, the Peacekeeper from season 3, and then they're expecting players to pay the same full price that they do for other mythics, which is, people are clearly not vibing with this one.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of them applying that kind of reactive heirloom style design to some specific skins for weapons. One, I'm right there with you, as well as it would seem the community at large that is like, hey, don't recycle a model for an old skin. Make a new
Yeah.
one. This should, this shouldn't be just like essentially like a recolor with some extra bells and whistles on top. I do love the idea though of them creating those kinds of things for weapons, especially because like, I think as the same as everybody else, heirlooms are super cool, right?
Yes.
But
Some of them are
also,
awesome.
yeah, right?
Sears looks dope.
They're
That's
really dope.
such a cool heirloom.
But you use them the least as an actual weapon in the game when you're playing Apex out of anything. So I love the idea of getting heirlooms that are actually guns that I'm going to pick up and get kills with on a regular basis. I think that's super dope. I
Yes.
would hope that they take the approach, and I'm not holding my breath that they're going to do this, but do that for guns, but make them more accessible. Make them not as expensive. Make it still like put those, minor understandable barriers in front of it, like make them a little rarer, but I don't want to see them locking all of these gun heirlooms as well behind these $150 paywalls.
I mean, I say, EA, do what you want with how you design these things. The wallets will pay for it if they like it or not. I think a good example of what you're saying was back, there were leaks about what was going to be a reactive flatline skin, and it was actually a different model, and it looked fucking cool as hell. It was
Mhm.
like full red with like different exhaust holes and stuff. It was awesome. Right. And so everyone kind of expected at some point we would get this, new variant of mythics being that of weapons, which obviously adds another 20 plus mythics for EA to work with for their
Yeah.
next collection events. I just don't like the fact that it seems like specifically with this upcoming Peacekeeper skin, it's not very special. It's not very unique, at least right now with what we know. It is in itself much of what we saw beforehand. And I get recolors, they're easy to do, right? And maybe adding in a couple effects on top of that is a little bit more difficult, but I think for Mythics, man, if I'm dropping 100 plus on some specific skin, it's got to be a whole fleshed out, full design, the pinnacle of the flatline, the pinnacle of the Peacekeeper,
Yeah.
a reason to want it. So I think, by the way, I think that Peacekeeper Mythic is going to be the rarest like item in Apex ever. It's first of all incredibly expensive, and the fact that it also happens to be just a straight up recolor
Yeah.
means that less people I think are going to get it. So get your hands on an item that only 0.00001% of players have, guys.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
Let's finish off where we always do, folks, with a little bit of Q&A.
Q&A!
Drop those questions. What do you want us to talk about in chat right now? As we get a little Zephyr belly there on on cam.
My shirt put up just a little too high.
But yeah, what question you guys have? Hit me, Zephyr.
Are you going to go to champs? Not playoffs. Are you going to go to champs this summer?
I would like to, but I can't make any promises.
Yeah, it's expensive.
It is already expensive, and then there's also the fact that I have a fishing trip with my dad and my brother planned
Aw,
for July.
darn.
Yeah, go try and catch some marlin and win a trophy because it's a tournament. Where it is a cool fishing tournament that my dad has been was going to all throughout like my childhood, like during the summers, and I went for my first time when I turned 18, and we haven't gone since. So it's been literally a decade, and and so I had like been bugging my dad for a couple years. It's like we should do that again. We got to figure that out or whatever. So we're going this summer. So I have to pay for that fucking trip. Um,
Oh
so
my god.
yeah, so we will see. I would like to go. If I can make it happen, I will. But I'm really hoping. Yeah, okay. Where am I? I'm on this side. Wait, wait. Here? Yeah, here. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
2, 3.
Wait, one more time. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, whatever. It happened.
All right, there you go. There's your high
Audio
five
only
across
listeners
screen.
are so confused right now. What the fuck are these? What are these idiots?
If you
doing?
guys had to have a personal heirloom, what would it be and why? If you were a legend. Oh, that's cool. Oh my god. I think mine would be instrument related or cowboy hat related. Like, dope. Just have like something like this and just like beat the shit out of someone with this, and then drop it down.
What
and
is
just
that?
and just be like,
There you go, folks. Special
and
edition of the Hot Zone with your
and
musical
just
guest, Zephyr.
like smack the shit out of someone with an instrument. That'd be so dope.
Mine would probably be a hockey stick.
Oh yeah, that'd
Some
be
form of a
fire.
hockey stick, yeah.
People don't know this about Y4SO, but this dude, he balls.
Have you ever seen any of my like hockey clips?
I've never seen a hockey clip of you, but that's dope, dude.
I was gonna say because you're like he balls. I'm like, does he even know? I'm a self-taught hockey player, so I'm not incredible, but I do all right.
Okay, there you go. Zeph, who's your favorite Liquipedia editor? Kano. Okay, moving on. Top 5 picks to win LAN. TSM, for sure. TSM. Dark Zero because LAN buff.
I will clarify right now. Dark Zero is not in my top 5.
Dark Zero's in my top 5 because if you count against them, that's when they win.
It's like they're like CLG, where like
exactly.
when the faith is there, they shit their pants. As soon as you don't believe in them, they're terrible.
Okay.
Okay, so you have
IBG from Apex South.
TSM, IBG, Dark Zero for you. Okay.
So far, yeah. Let me get someone from EMEA. Who do I think's the best in EMEA right now?
Ascend.
No, I'll give it to Element 6. So far,
okay.
I'd say Element 6, just because they're showing up when it counts, and they seem to really be gelling with Amphi right now, which is good. Okay. And then Fun. I'll do Fun from APAC North, because I think Fun is underrated, and they're kicking serious ass.
Okay. I'm gonna take TSM. No surprise. Northeption.
Oh, and Vex Gaming.
I'm gonna take TSM, Northeption, IBG, Ascend, and then I feel like I gotta get like kind of a dark horsey kind of pick because I feel like those are all kind of the big boys. And then I'm gonna take Luminosity. So TSM, Northeption, Ascend, IBG, Luminosity.
Okay. All right. There you go. Favorite comp Reddit mod. Tobrick. How can you beat a guy with a cowboy
I'll
hat?
Echo that one. How can you beat a guy with a cowboy hat? You pull it down over his eyes so you can't see.
You just beat the shit out of him.
Love it.
Have you played Mortal Kombat? Yes. All of them, pretty much. I love Mortal Kombat. Gambar Otusan is greater than fun? Bullshit. No, fun's better. Fun's better in my opinion. I think fun's better than Gambar Otusan. All right. Any last questions?
Yeah. Any last questions?
Oh,
Who's your BFF, Zephyr?
who's my best friend forever? His name is Alex.
Okay.
I've been
Mr.
friends with him.
Around Buns was wondering.
I've been friends with Alex for over 10 years now,
Hmm.
and I take a trip every summer to go fly and meet up with all of our buddies. Yep. And he's also a moderator of this chat.
Big dubs.
All right.
Get in those last questions right now. Y'all got about 30 seconds before we wrap
One.
this sucker up.
2, 3,
Bottom 5 teams from land. I'm
4,
not gonna do that.
5, 6,
That also feels
7,
so much harder to predict.
8, 9,
Zephyr can stop counting
10.
now. He's counting with his hands, audio listeners. Just FYI. Oh, he's counting with sign language, actually. Not answering that. Lurcon Buns. Worst heirloom? Ooh. Mirage. Yeah. The fucking little bust thing. The little statue sucks.
I don't like Raven's Bite. I think Bloodhound's heirloom's boring.
What
It's
is
just it's just
Their axe is
Raven-
dope, dude.
Raven's Bite is
You're
fucking
fucking
boring.
capping.
I don't like Raven's
I'm about
Bite.
to, I'm about
I don't
to
like-
fucking
I don't like-
jettison this.
Mirage.
dude from this
Mirage's
podcast.
heirloom's fucking sick. It's a
No,
fucking statue
it's
of
fucking
himself.
Stupid.
Whoa!
It's fucking stupid. You
You're
heard it here. You heard it here
stupid.
first. Wide
You're
receiver
s-
or QB for position? I played both.
I would do probably QB because I'm tiny. Mirage is the best. Mirage is literally the shittiest.
Let's go. That's based faux 4. All right. I like this
Lifeline
dude.
is stupid.
Porcupine
Pathfinder
gets
is
it.
nothing.
Let's go.
Mirage is the shittiest.
I don't
All
blame
right, you're all
people. I don't
terrible.
blame
You're all
people who hate
terrible.
on lifelines. I think the drumsticks are cool.
I
and
was
like
kind
the
of bored
animations
with
around
lifelines,
it.
but yeah. She
But,
plays
like,
music though,
Yeah.
so like I got it.
But if
that's
if you don't
fine.
like lifelines, I think it's fine. But
Oh, I think Watson's is pretty ass.
Watson's does suck.
Watson sucks.
Yeah,
I
agree
don't
with
get that. It's literally like a gun, sort of like, oh, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh, remind me what Ramparts is?
It's just a wrench, and it's not ass. It's
no, the
fucking
wrench
dope.
is cool. Yeah,
The wrench is
cool.
The wrench is cool, Luca.
Yeah.
Lifelines was cool at the beginning, but now they seem a bit plain compared. I could see that.
Yeah,
yeah. I
I
think
wouldn't
I
argue
think
with
like I don't think Lifelines is like top tier at all. I don't mind it, but I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it's that good. Pathfinders is the best, I think.
Pathfinders is dope. That is true. That is
Boxing
true.
gloves, that's so fucking sick.
Yeah.
Caustic Hammer is incredible.
Who would win in laser tag between you two? Probably Zephyr because I am a bigger target.
I was about to say Y4SO is bigger and slower, so
That is
Yeah.
true.
You guys, when you meet Y4SO in person one day at a North American Apex event, this dude is
Hopefully we do.
stacked. This dude, you meet him in person, he's a big fucking dude.
I am a large lad.
Like he could
Considering
fucking
Zephyr's
crush
aim.
you.
Zephyr, did you grow up shooting guns?
I have shot before, yes.
Okay. I would
And
take
it's-
Zephyr's
I
aim
would-
over my Southern California suburbia looking ass. How tall are you?
I've shot.
I am 6'2".
I'm 6'2" as well.
Yeah, but I'm broader. I'm much
See this?
broader than Zephyr. Zephyr is
See this?
a stick. I actually believe Zephyr is 6'2". I think we are the same height.
You're
if I
not
remember correctly.
6'2". Fucking Slayers from E6. After I say you guys are the best team in EMEA right now, you come at me with that horse shit. Fuck you. We shared pizza. We had a
Measuring
good
and
time.
land back to back. I love it.
height
Somebody,
check for Wikipedia.
yeah. You know what? I'm all about that. Can we get those stats on
Can we
Wikipedia?
get some height checks for everybody
Somebody
at
bring a
LAN?
fucking tape measure to land. I would love
Dude,
that.
I'm gonna bring a tape measure to LAN and walk up to each pro player and say height check, and it's gonna be for Kano on Wikipedia.
Well, no, what you should do is you have to ask them first how tall they are and then check if they're lying. Check be
Oh
like,
my god!
are they capping or not? And then you measure it, you be
Yo,
like,
that's
this
dude, the
motherfucker added
best
3
content
inches.
ever.
That actually would be so funny.
I'm 6 foot, me with my
But
tape
also,
measure.
hey,
You're actually 5'9".
also at the same time, we stan our short kings here. All right.
Yeah,
And let's
fuck
be
yeah.
clear. Zephyr and I are not short kings. We are long ass
We're
bitches.
long boys. We're tall.
But we stan our short kings here at the hot zone. All
Dia,
right? Do not
let's
forget
go,
that.
Dia.
Yeah, we love Dia.
We love Dia.
We protected him from danger in Philly.
Did
like
we do
did
the
for
thing
Gar-
with
or
Dia where
like
he
Garvest.
hung on one of our shoulders? Did he do that? I don't remember. I think he
I don't
did
think
like
so.
one arm on this side, one arm on the other side, and he.
We need a
shoulders.
trick tape measure that is a couple inches short. That would be funny as hell.
Oh my god! You walk up to Hal and you say, "Hal, how tall?" He's just very honest. He's like, "I'm 5'10".
We
right?
also-
and we pull up the tape measure and it's 5'4", and it's like, "Sorry, bud." And then it updates on Wikipedia. Ah!
Slayer, as far as I'm aware, I believe Zephyr is actually 6'2", because I believe we are I think
Same
Zephyr is
height.
actually maybe like a quarter of an inch taller than me. I think he's just a little bit, but I am 6'2", and
Yeah.
Zephyr is basically just as tall as me.
He seemed small when we met. Slayers, you're fucking huge. Dude, for those who don't know and who have never met Slayers in person, Slayers is fucking
I'm glad we
big.
didn't end the episode, by the way.
Slayers is massive. Like I remember sitting across from Slayers at that after party, and I was like, this guy looks way bigger when you get up close to him than when like you're sitting in the audience. It's fucking wild. He's small for 6'2". Okay, all right.
I mean,
all
he's slight for sure. Like,
right. Don't get me wrong. I'm skinny as fuck.
yeah,
dude,
my
but,
dude's
like,
my dude's thin.
guys, I'm
Oh, we're gonna get a full stand up here. There we go. Yeah, he's pretty slight
this is a
for
chair,
sure.
and I stand taller than the chair. All right.
It was
My
Dia.
cock-
Yes, Slayer. Dia is fairly small. I would say Dia, if I had to guess, is like 5'8", 5'10", I think.
Yeah.
Show
He
us
is
which way, Zephyr. Show us which way the beach ball went.
Beach ball.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
which way did where did the beach ball go? Did it go that way or that way?
All right, chat.
The beach ball.
The beach ball is over there.
Over there, brother.
Over there. I can't even.
I love we got
can't-
back-to-back nights of the Hulk Hogan impression from you.
Yes, yeah, brother. Now we just need a Randy. Right. On camera, he looked like he'd be 6 foot, but like 4 foot. What the fuck? Cock? That's a fucking
I think Slayer's is
baby.
talking about. I think Slayer's is talking about
What
Dia.
the fuck? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dia surprised me. I will say in person when I met Dia for the first time, I did not. This is nothing. Like I don't care how tall, but like I did not expect Dia to be at least that. He was definitely below me by a larger margin.
Yeah.
He has tall boy energy.
He definitely does. All right. I think
All
that
right.
is where we're going to wrap
We
it up
fucked
for this
around
week's
enough.
episode. Yeah, definitely. Okay. For any of our like consistent chatters live on the show, like we always want those serious questions.
Slayers, do you want to do an interview with us next week on the Hot Zone?
That is a great
Sit
question.
down with us. Let's talk about Element 6. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Come on.
Slayers, jump in Zephyr's DMs and come on the show.
Talk about it, dude.
Yeah. But to our regular viewers, we always love like if there's a topic that we missed, Dude, bro, don't even worry about it. Like, we're just
No,
gonna
no, no,
talk
don't even.
and
We're
ham
gonna
it
fuck
up.
around. You
Yeah,
know.
it's gonna be a good time. Like, we're just gonna talk Apex. Don't even trip. Talk to Zephyr. Come on the show. But we love the serious questions and we love hitting on the topics that we miss. But also, if you could bring us goofy ass questions like that on a weekly basis, we also love those because that's fun. That's
That's
a good
fun
time.
as fuck.
Episode
All
10
right.
in the books. Zephyr, we hit double digits. Feels good, man.
Yeah.
Good episode.
10.
Looking forward to doing it again. Just to remind everybody, of course, you can watch us here live every week at 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, 3:30 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv/ZephyrCast. If you missed any of today's episode, it'll be up tonight.
Everywhere.
Yeah. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm. If you want to watch it, it'll be up there, so make sure to check it out. Again, as always, shout out to the competitive subreddit that continues to support the show. If you ever want to know when the show is live, follow us on Twitter, but you can also check the Comp Apex subreddit because they slap up a little live thread for the show with the topics we're going to be talking about that day. So big thank you over to them. That's going to do it, folks. Thanks so much for coming to hang out today. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And Zephyr and I will see y'all next time.